And thank you for everyone who is participating in this election cycle, becoming informed, looking at Gilmer forward. I keep getting asked, what's my plan? Well, I can put certain things forward, other things I'm going to have to wait on. I'm not a government insider. I don't have access to the internal reports. I don't have access to staff that I can quiz and ask about. But I've got a pretty good idea. Improving our roads and infrastructure. You don't have to be an insider to know that they need help. They're crumbling. And it's not getting better. The 10 years I've been here, I see them falling farther and farther behind. Prioritize the maintenance of roads, bridges, and other infrastructure to prevent basic government services from falling behind as the population grows. I stand by that. Improving fire and EMS. We have had tremendous turnover. We need to address this, and I think it's more than money. On a good day, we have 4 ambulances running out of shift. Back in February 2024, the Times Courier had a front page article. We need another ambulance. 2 years later, we don't have it. In fact, in the last budget cycle, we were told that because of staffing constraints, many shifts in Gilmer County were operating with just 3 ambulances. I think that's unacceptable. We have a growing population. And in addition to our regular population, we have a visiting population, many weekends and in season. We need to be responsible to our citizens. Something else I want to say. Responsible growth management involving all Gilmer citizens as stakeholders in the planning process. I think we can do better getting people to the table. We can do better being less opaque in our planning meetings, our subcommittees, this and that. We can move together much faster and more unison than having different little constituencies or contingencies. Parks and Rec, another one, flashbacks 2024. Let's get a Parks and Rec master plan. The contract was given for a rec center design. That's 2024. I support a master plan. But it's 2026 and we still haven't seen it. We paid for it 2 years ago. We haven't seen it yet. Why not? I'd like to move forward on some of this stuff. But I can't speak when I'm denied access to it. And I've been trying for months to get access to it. Now this little script I'm reading from, back before I had a beard. Same issues I was working on in 2024 are the same issues I speak to today. I shouldn't have to be talking about the same things that mattered 2 years ago. We should have gone forward. So I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking to serve this county. I self-funded my campaign. I'm not looking for outside support because I want to be the people's chairman. And I believe in this community and all the people who live here. Whether you disagree with me or not through this election cycle, you know. I'm a former reporter. I know what it's like to deal with adversity and have people say things to me. I don't take it personal. I've had decades of training. I want to be your chairman. And I mean that sincerely. And I thank you for your time and attention tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Did everybody in here seen the movie My Cousin Benny? Does anybody remember Benny's opening remark to the jury in the courthouse, in the trial? Well, you'll have to watch the movie. I'm not going to tell you what it was. I'm going to give you very quickly what my first three priorities are going to be. It's going to be affordable housing. It's going to be expansion of the animal shelter. And it's going to be the building of a recreation center. We promised the people, if they pass this plus, that we would expand the animal shelter and that we will build a recreation center. And I plan to keep my promise. Not sure how we're going to do the affordable housing, but we have hired a company that specializes in that. Got quite a bit of criticism for that, but sometimes you go to the experts and you let them try to come up with a solution for you. And if they can come up with a solution for us that fits that, that works for me. Having said all that, I am very disappointed in this whole process. I believe this has been probably the dirtiest campaign that I've seen in Gilmer County in many, many years. Nobody wants to talk about what they want to do or how they want to do it. They just want to talk about how crooked and corrupt Charlie is. Now, let me tell you that those are lies. I am not crooked, not corrupt. I will not lie to you except about fishing. But I will do that, and have. The people who are primarily responsible for this, most of them are in this room tonight. And I want to thank one of them. I do want to thank Ms. Kimberly because we got a flyer that was sent out not too long ago, and a pretty nice contribution from the realtors here. That came in on May 4th for the contribution. The flyer was about a week later. I didn't know it was coming. I got a text one Saturday morning that said, wonderful flyer. And I'm thinking, what flyer? About 2 o'clock that afternoon, Barbara called me and said, when did you order the flyer? I didn't. But I was mighty happy to see it. Still am. Proud of it. That was, the contribution was May 4th. The flyer was about a week later. Ms. Reckless has reminded the world that we didn't file a 2-day report. I've never heard of a 2-day report. So I went back to the expenditure report that we have to fill out. It said my next one was due on July 31st. I'm looking for a 2-day report. There's nothing about it on there. So I went to the Ethics Commission website. And on there, it has a section for candidate reporting. Went into that, and it gave all the schedules for candidate reporting. No mention of a 2-day report. It did say that if you are in a runoff, that it was a 6-day, not 2-day, but if you're in a runoff, that you have to do that. But it had a big disclaimer on there that this only applies if you're in a runoff. It does look like there is a thing called a 2-day report, but it's not mentioned on the Ethics Commission page. It's not mentioned on any of the reports from them that say, here's the reports you have to file. I have a call in to the Ethics Commission's attorney to say, okay, if we got to file this report, how do we do it? So, thank you, Kimberly, for letting us know about that. We'll get that filed just as quickly as possible because I don't mind filing a report, and I'm not a bit ashamed of anything that any contribution that anybody has given to me in a legal manner, and it's all been in a legal manner. The last thing I want to say is I'm pretty disappointed in the GOP. John, y'all are supposed to be totally neutral. You're not. The comments that you're making on social media, we all need to be replaced, etc., are not neutral. And I'm very disappointed in that. So I feel like I've done well for Gilmer County. I feel like I've got the experience and the background, and I want to continue to do it. I hope y'all will agree with me, and I will ask you for your vote.
Glad y'all came out. There's 3 reasons, I guess, that I'm really running. Number 1 reason is I prayed about it, and I prayed about it, and I prayed about it. The Lord kept convicting me about it. There's some things going on. The way I look at things is You can't say nothing if you don't do something. It's easy to be a cheerleader, it's hard to be a leader. So, Lord kept convicting me of it, so I had to run, okay? I have been commissioner here before. And there's three things that I disagree with, and one of them is cluster homes. The other is government housing. The reason for cluster homes is we're not that kind of town. There's ways to do low-income housing and still have the trees, still have the beauty of Gilmer County. We're not Hall County, but where he's talking about is more like what we are, where he lives in, and his district. But we're not the big city like it is in Gainesville. And he had a lot of good points about what's happening over there. That's where we're headed if we don't do something about it. And I know that, and we have high density already in LJ. It's already part of their zoning. But Gilmer County doesn't need it. Don't need to be annexed in so that LJ can have it. We don't need to let them have the property to do that stuff. What is wrong with the way we're doing it? People that's moved here, which a lot of you have moved here. You didn't move here for high-density homes. You didn't move here for cluster homes. You didn't move here for all that. You moved here for the beauty of this town. You moved here for the people of this town. And so I'm against those things. The other, I feel like the budget ain't right, but it takes a lot to know about a county budget. So I can't make no judgment on it right now. And I think it's skyrocketed from what it was when I was commissioner. And that got me thinking about it. And there is a lot of extra spending going on. And I understand people ask for it, it's like the rec center and all that. But if they ever understood the cost of what it's going to take just to keep it up, not just cost to buy it and build it. You got to keep, all these things have to come into play. If you don't keep up with the maintenance of everything, then you're not really getting the full cost in what it costs the taxpayers of this town. Every time you buy a government building, it's got to be kept up. It's got to be taken care of. The maintenance is ridiculous. Then you got to man it. All that is expense. Our payrolls went up in the county for a reason. We're adding more to the government. Don't add more to the government, just let the employees that's there have the money instead of spending on bringing more people for more government. We need to start subbing out stuff that we can sub out. It's cheaper to sub it out when it gets to this expense like it is in government. Our government is the biggest employer in this town. We shouldn't be. So those are some of the things that I'm working on, thinking about. There's a lot of things we can do as far as keeping LJ I know we can't stop growth, don't plan on stopping growth, but there's ways to keep it to where it's still beautiful and desirable. And LJ, not big cities. And again, we live in the best place there is in the country. Let's try to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to come out and speak to you guys this evening. I appreciate you taking the time. For anybody that does not know me, and there may be some folks that don't know me, I've been living here about 16 years. I founded Engelheim Vineyards and Winery, which was, by the way, the winery of the year last year for Georgia, because of the quality of our wines, so we're thankful for that. Before that, I grew up in South Alabama on a farm, and never got in trouble because I was too tired from working because we had a couple thousand acres that we farmed from my grandpa. I went to university and went through ROTC, became commissioned as second lieutenant and an officer and a gentleman by act of Congress in 1975. And I served 28 years, came back from Iraq and Kuwait and Afghanistan and retired because I wanted to watch my littlest girl grow up. I've got a master's degree in national security and strategic studies from the United States Naval War College with focus on the Middle East. So I know a little bit about what's going on in Iran, places like that. Also, I'm on the Board of Tax Assessors. It's a thankless job. It's very difficult to understand. You have to try to keep everybody and treat everybody equal as we possibly can. And it's a difficult thing at times, and it's quite, lots of times not a thankless thing, because things are set up at the state, and the county is responsible for maintaining and keeping the county in line so that we don't get penalized, the county, in a number of ways, and they can penalize us significantly. Talk about roads. Roads are something that we've got to deal with. Newspaper article recently had an article talking about how many support of T-SPLOST. Well, there's more. It's not one solution fits all. T-SPLOST could be part of the solution, but you need to do some other things with it. If you put some additional tax burden on the people of Gilmer County someplace, where can you reduce some tax burden? Maybe some efficiencies and stuff that we could do within the government structure itself to reduce some of the millage rates for the county, county part of it and the school board part of it. If you look at, for example, Cherokee County just did a thing where they had the 40% tax break if you're over 65. They said it's a 5-year moratorium for people coming up. That when they come in the county, they need to spend 5 years and not get that tax break, stay there and help with the school board tax rate and the millage rate, and you can spread it across more people, hopefully reducing the millage rate so it frees up some funds to be able to do some of the stuff that you need to do with roads. You've got to look at things from a different perspective. You can't just sit there and say, well, one solution is going to solve the solution and solve the problem. It may be a multiple number of things, and the way we find out about that is we listen to people in the county, and because we don't have all the answers. But we can always learn from people, no matter what position they're in, even if they're opponents in the program, because we can find solutions to improve the situation. The people in Gilmer County, some of the nicest people I've ever met. I moved here, and these people just opened their arms and helped us out. One gentleman came out when I planted the first grapevines. He said, "I came to help." He came to help. We didn't ask him. He just showed up, and he cared enough about his neighbors to do that. It's pretty impressive. And I've lived all over the world, and I've been in combat situations and everything else, and my job was to serve and take care of soldiers. As an officer, that's my responsibility. This guy back here is a West Point grad, and he knows he served like the same way. And other folks in here probably have too. But it gets in your blood. Service above self. Success has nothing to do with how much money you make or anything like that. It has to do with how many people's lives you can touch. And yes, we'll make people upset with certain things, but we always try to do the right thing. And honor is important. And I do ask people on social media, if you're going to say something about me on social media, please back it up with fact, because I'm an honorable man. And I've not ever done anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. And you can mark that down. So thank you very much for the opportunity to come out and serve. And I appreciate it. And may God bless Gilmer County, and may God bless the Republican Party. We got to save our country. Thank you.